Good morning, everybody. This is a StarCraft video that I'm not making today, but I was watching because I like to play StarCraft 2 in my free time. This is last week's trade plan. Got to make next week's trade plan or trade document here. Hopefully, the guy I sent this to isn't using this one. So here's what I do for this. All right. So I delete copy of the master copy. I just keep a master copy blank in my Google Drive. That way I can just make copies of it. And then any changes I make that I want to make, I just make them to that like master copy. So then it copies them, and all these like formulas here will stay in. And same with all these, like how it's every other color here, which is really nice and makes it a lot easier to see. So I'm going to change the name here, and I just go Sunday to Saturday on the calendar. So 29 to 4. So this is going to go in my January folder, actually, because Wednesday is the first of the new month. And that's how I differentiate my months. Whatever the date is on Wednesday, so if it would have been December, or the first would have been on Thursday, I would have kept it as a December journal, and it would have been a 5-week month. But it's going to January, so January might be a 5-week month. I don't know. So it's going to be December 29 to December 4. And you can see that right here. Bam, 29 to 4, Sunday to Saturday. Hopefully my face isn't in the way. 29 to January 4. And then what I do is my monthly starting balance for January now is actually going to be lower. It's actually going to be the same. So 91, 24, 17. All right, and it'll also be the monthly starting balance here. And then I already put it in here. So last month we had a minus 9%, 9.6% gain. I say minus gain because it was a minus gain. We lost 9.6% of my account, so that was really shitty. But hopefully this month we can make that all back. My goal is to have a 10% buffer. So this is a $10,000 account. I want to have $11,000 in there. That way I can kind of have some wiggle room for, say another drawdown period. So hopefully it's over this week. And then, yeah, that's basically setting it up. Now it's ready to go. One more thing I guess I can show you too is I got to make a new folder. January 2020 now. Hopefully this year's better and more consistently profitable than last year. I think it will be, as I've kind of ironed out a lot of the things, the rules and stuff. So throw that in there. I threw that one in my December folder, and this is where I keep, so each folder has its own thing, and I actually got to move my December trading journal in there as well. So I make one of these too that I just take notes on. I'm just like, yeah, I see shit trades this week, 5 straight losers. These are just some things like that I'm noticing, seeing them like, and I'm shorting inside higher time frame demand rather than waiting. I've been very agitated lately, and this is just when I was still in Texas waiting to come home from Afghanistan. I haven't written in here in like 2 weeks, but my thoughts are my thoughts. That's just something that I like to do. So I'm not going to exactly show you them. All right, so to exit out of that, that's the new one. Bam. And then my fiance gets all mad that I keep all those extra tabs up here, but I know what they all are. So I don't really care what she says sometimes. She's just like, all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's all the stuff that I use. I know what all that is. So that's what a new trading month and a new trading week also look for me at the same time. Feel free to, if that helps you, use it yourself. If not, well, hopefully you have something that works for you. Just you should have at least the log, so you can always look back, I think. All right, so we're going to start things off here on the euro dollar. So here, well, let's see, this is like a fake breakout right here because it didn't close below the low. I don't care if this is a big wick. You still, like for me, I still count them. So I'm going to call this the high right here. That's going to be my high because this, like, if I drew the box here, I could technically draw it to there because you haven't had the close below yet. I mean, you draw it up here, but this right here is still a part of this move. Even if it is like this is the controlling high there. So I got to look for my demand. If I was going to make this a demand zone, it would have to break this high. So for my higher time frame demand, that's what that's going to look like right there. It looks like we're going to have to go back to find supply. And look at that, it's right here. So even though like this is, let's see, so you got this, your move down, didn't clear this low right here, then you get your move up, and then your move down. So this would be like my standard breakout kind of setup on my trading time frame. So this is going to be my higher time frame supply. And that's how I decide that. Just make that the top, even though there's quite a bit of candles in here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, only 6. So you got 6 candles in there. That's kind of right near the edge of where we want to be for candle counts. Anything more than that, I might have looked a little higher. Like this area right here, I mean probably this one actually, because this is a touch of this, this is a touch of this, this is a touch of that technically, but it is barely fresh. I mean, it's not fresh because it's been touched, but that's that. So let's move on to the pound. Pretty similar picture here. Here's a breakout. And here's a basing area right there below that. As you can see, we are now low on the curve. Hopefully we can get some good buys out of the pound this week. No breakout to the lower side there. Aha! We're right in a supply area. This is just a big kind of basing area. See, this is a lot of candles in it though. Take that. I know the line's green, I'll just make it yellow. Because that's not a demand zone. Or it's not a high, or it's high, it's not part of the curve yet. So I'm going to make it yellow. Cautionary, looking at it. Okay, so here we go. So how many candles we got? We got a leg out candle. Also a leg in candle here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we're not going to use that because it's got 8 candles. So this is going to be our next best bet here. Bam. Plus we got the breakout area. Right. Ooh, maybe not. We got the low is 37.12. And the low is 37.13. So this is higher than that low. So this is a good area to use. According to my rules, at least. Maybe not for you. That's what I gotta say. Like, according to my rules, it is. Because you may have different rules for setting this stuff up, and yours might work better for you than mine do. So there we go. We are certainly low on the curve. And tomorrow's Sunday, so I'll be setting up the trend and all that stuff today. I think the trend is the hard part, kinda. It's always like been what I've struggled to have since I figured out like this method that I use now. It's been working pretty well for me. So not the last few weeks, but I've also been making some mistakes that I shouldn't have been making too. So this is kind of a weird basing area. Let's see. So that is lower than that. That's lower than that. That close. Close is 913. The high is 913. So that's the same. So technically, this is all one big basing area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles. It's like a ascending base. I don't know if that's an actual technical term. So we got our breakout here. and we're going to use that. Now, it is like, the thing I don't like about this, you got the basing candle right here, and then you got this wick above, but it could still work. It has every other thing, so I'm going to use that as my higher time frame supply area. Otherwise, the next area is going to be this one right here for me. It's going to be a level on level, on a level, but it would be this one right here, and then this one up here would be the next place I'm going to put my area. Here we go. So that's what that's going to look like. Daily on here. We got our breakout right there. So that is going to be that. Boom. And actually, I'll even take it down to there because this candle did close inside that candle, so I'm going to include that in the base. Plus, it's almost 50%. I'm not going to measure it because the curve, I kind of just eyeball things, but I think it is safer to put it at the bottom. Let's see, this one closed inside, like if I drew a line here, it closed like inside the breakout, but we also have this breakout that it was a part of too. So we're going to go ahead and call this one good as higher time frame supply. And we have the New Zealand dollar, which is high on the curve. And as far as setting up trades, you guys know how I feel about the New Zealand dollar. If you've been watching my videos, I should have a chart. If I'm going to trade the New Zealand dollar, that's the 240 charts is what I call them. The 240 trading time frame, which means the daily is the trend and the weekly, just because of the size of the zones. So here you got a breakout. You got your one basic candle, plus the candle closed inside, plus a candle closed inside, plus a candle closed inside, plus the leg in. So leg in, base, leg out. So here would be a breakout area. I kind of want to use this, but it's kind of a test of this. Plus it came down into the body area, so I'm going to use this bottom area here. So you've got, if we look at this, we've got kind of like a rally, close outside, and it comes down, close below, and then your leg. So this is going to be my higher time frame supply area, or demand area. Oops. Here we go. Cat's getting low on the curve, as they say, so if we're not uptrend, we can go ahead and start taking trades. So I'm just going to make, this is going to be the entire area. And the reason I'm doing this is kind of an expanded range candle. So 98.03 is the close, 98.01. So it is higher than the close of that. So that's inside, so that's part of the base. That's a trick I learned. I think Scott McCormick teaches. If you guys ever been in his class, that's where I learned it from. There's two things that make a base, and that's the close inside and the 50%. So this is a really messy area here. It makes me not want to take it because it's gross. Let's see about this one. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take this bottom one here. It's just nicer looking, and this is basically a retest of it within a few points. There we go. The next one will be down here. And the reason I chose this one, so this candle is still was trading inside of the breakout, but you have the higher breakout right here. So that's why I'm still kind of like the same thing as I think the pound we were looking at. So same idea there. Here we go. And that is what my dollar franc looks like. So dollar yen. Ugh, this is gonna be kind of gross too, huh? So we got our high there. Yeah, we were just skirting along it, huh? That's annoying. So there's a breakout. Here's the demand area. Caused it. I'm like, yeah, I'll use that. It is kind of messy, and it's been touched 1, 2, 3 times. essentially, but it hasn't been broken. It's been holding. So let's find something over here on the supply side. So this is like an arrow they talk about in the XLTs. If you watch those, it's pointing up here, and I'll use that as an indicator. Kind of like the other one I was looking at, where I was like, I don't like it how this went higher than the previous candle, but the other one didn't really have a zone above it. I don't think. I don't remember properly. Maybe it did, but that's just a lot more pronounced. There's not really a rule for deciding that. It's just kind of like a feeling, I guess, which isn't a good thing to, base trades on all the time. And some of the stuff can get a little tricky looking at, but you try to minimize that as much as you can. So that's what our yen trade will look like. Probably looks like shit on the 240 or the trend time frame, but we're not there yet. So this would be a pretty good demand zone if it broke this high, or closed above even this high. So since we got a little like shooting star or falling star, whatever kind of candle, a little doji at the bottom of a breakout here that caused a breakout, we're going to use that for now. This is going to be like our next area to look at if this gets broken. So here we go. Over here we have this level. $99.05. It's lower than 99.70. So this would be the breakout area that I would count. You get your close below it here. Otherwise, you also have this one too. If this didn't close below, it did come up, and that would be the standard trend or the standard range set up there for me. So that's what the euro yen looks like. Now you'll see this candle is definitely a 50% body of the entire range, but I'm just going to use this as my base because that's a leg in candle because it closed below the low of the previous candle. So this did create a breakout or a swing high right here. And as you can see, it held quite nicely so far. I like to use the horizontal line just to put on the highest high so I can look back and zoom in and stuff and know exactly what I'm looking at. So we've got this and this. So with these ones, so I'll make my base probably like that. It's ugly, I know. But I gotta include these wicks that go up there because I've had trades that like if I would have just included that wick, I wouldn't have been stopped out. So I include them. Because that's annoying when you barely get stopped out on something and then it goes the direction you want. That's like the worst thing that can happen. Right next to the price coming within like 2 points of hitting your entry and then taking off and going your direction. It's almost better to just lose, I think. It feels good to be right, but it feels real shitty for me to like leave money on the table. Had a couple of those the last few weeks. It's kind of frustrating. All right. So we got our breakout here. Kind of the same thing we were looking at, I think, the euro. And this one I'm not going to include the bottom because this green candle right here did not close inside of the previous candle. So I'm not going to include that. If I was going to trade this zone, I'd definitely put my stop below there, though. All right, let's see what we got here. Some ugly shit, huh? Look at this. Look at that area. I've been trying to trade it down through here, like, I could have had my opportunity, but I remember watching this move happen. You guys remember a few years ago watching the franc just lose 3/4 of its value or something? That was annoying. Or the pound, too, when they were doing the Brexit thing a few years ago. Like their first vote on Brexit. So I'm going to use this one because you got your breakout right here. This is like the breakout. It isn't fresh because it did touch, but it did work. And it did break out there. So if you were a daily trader, this would have been a really good zone. You got your close below there. Maybe check it on the weekly. 506, 708. So this probably was formed. I know it's Friday, it looks like. And you can tell because it says May 3 and then jumps to May 5. So that's probably Friday, then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, this would have been a week Yeah, you could have maybe taken that. I don't know. Anyways, I digress. There we go. That's our curve setup on the Aussie yen. On the CAD yen. Ooh, is it there? Is it there? It is there. So we do got the close above the breakout from last week. Make the zone like that. There we go. So this would be like the zone. It looks. Look at all this. It's so messy. So garbage. It's just messy. This one, well, it's not really a zone, but there's probably a trap level on a 240 or something right there that it worked on. Same with this one. Probably a trap right above there. Just speculation. You know, for this one, I don't really want to take this. This is really gross looking. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't know what it wants. Oh, this is a pretty good zone right there. Right here. Maybe we'll take it. We'll just mark it off. I'm also going to look further back though and mark off the secondary one for later when it breaks that and I get confused and stuff. And then this is going to be it right there. So if this breaks, I'm looking up there. Here we go. Bang, bang. And also, if you guys find me on YouTube and want to rewatch some of these videos, they're all up there. I just name them what day it is and then like trading session or something like that. You can find me on YouTube. My name's Alex Greavy. New videos every day about trading. I'm thinking about doing StarCraft videos too. Just kind of for fun. I like to talk my way through things. It helps me out. So hopefully somebody can learn something too. Like that's cool. Like maybe you're struggling and something's all fucked up. And then it's like, oh, that makes sense. That's how you, like, for me, learn how to draw boxes this way. Like, I learned it from a guy named Rick Rogowski. He was teaching it kind of like as core strategy was coming out. I worked with him in Milwaukee. He showed me that, like, the beginning of what that box method for my trend is. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. And then I kind of, like, watched the core strategy videos when I was in Kuwait, picking up trading again. And then I'm like, oh, wow, this really works. And then I did it right for a little bit, and then I messed it up for a little bit, and then I figured it out again, and then I messed it up again, and I figured it out, and then I messed it up, and then here we are today. So you go through those kind of things. So why did I choose this one? That's a really good question. Because we got that kind of arrow pointing down, and we have them shown like right there, or an area right here. So that's why I'm choosing it. This would be the breakout it has to break, and it eventually did. So I'm going to use this as my demand area on the daily. And see, like you got the finger pointing to there, and it pointing to a zone. Not just some expanded range candles inside of each other. It's just a better picture. Although, actually, this would be our demand area right here. Right? Let's check it out. Let's see. So yeah, we have our close below, bam, our low, our close above, so that's a swing. We got another close below, and see, this is the divergent stuff I'm talking about. So this the price went lower than this, but it closed higher than the low of this. So if I brought this up on the RSI, I don't know how to do it. Give me a sec here. Should be an add indicator, right? Add indicator. Insert indicator. All right. I don't know if I should even be like showing this, but it is kind of a reason that I don't take certain things. So we've got this. Go to kind of the same area here. Then we got that. So that's divergence. Price is going down, but the RSI is going up. That's why these closes need to happen below in order for me to, I mean, this does count as a swing move, technically, because you got your low here. So on the chart, it would look like this. Okay, down, If I was to draw a trend on here, you're up, then you're down, and then you're up right here. Boom. Look at that. Beautiful. That's why I'm using it. That's why I can use this as a demand zone, because it closed above the high there. I wouldn't even be trying to short this. If it was like a weekly and the curve was right on here, this I would not be trying to short, because it did not close below the breakout, and that's causing that divergence right there. What I am going to do though is look for an uptrend and try to find a nice little demand zone eventually to buy it. Let's see, remove. But yeah, so that's why those closes are important for me. Because it'll show that it's convinced it has a higher chance of going lower, or the direction that it's closing. Hopefully that's not too confusing for everybody. Another little trick Rick taught me. Like this one could count too. Let's measure it. Just eyeballing it though, this looks like it would be. So here's the whole range is 96. 43, so that's definitely half. So we're going to go ahead and use it. We got the low right here, and it's proximal to that low. So that's going to be our demand area there. So like I said, I don't like to use just arbitrary things. Like there's rules that I follow very closely when I'm not messing them up, like I was talking about messing them up. Which is part of why I'm doing this. Because if I mess this up, someone else is following this. If there are anybody, they'll mess it up. And then I look stupid and they're like, this guy's an idiot. And I'm like, well, I'm not an idiot. So I just got to make sure I'm doing the right things too. That's why talking this stuff through helps out a lot. So same thing here on the Euro Aussie. Wait for an uptrend to start. On the 240 when we get to there. Here we go. We got our breakout area. And the low is proximal to that, so that's going to be our supply area. Then we've got this beast, but I'm going to trade the bottom one. See, even this is kind of like a finger pointing to this. So I'll mark this one too. Because this one right here is a pretty good example. Like, look up and then you see this low is higher than that low. It's not like pointing down. Like this one isn't a finger. This one isn't a finger. I mean, this one would be if this was the zone, but it's not. That's just the like morning star, morning brew candle, whatever they're called. I don't really know. So I'm gonna mark both of these off. Because this reacted off there, it did work. It closed above here, obviously. And then it closed above there, so there should be, according to that, there's a lot of demand right there. So there we go. And that is the Euro New Zealand. Alright, so this is going to be our supply area, I think. Because we've got our low, our high, and then the close below this low. It worked. And then this is going to be our demand zone too. This should just keep it easy. I saw some posts about the euro pound. The euro pound is a bitch to trade, I think. Like, trades in circles and all those squirrely lines. I've seen that post somewhere. It's either in the dedicated one or the Forex one, or the other one or whatever. But yeah, that is true. The euro pound is a nightmare. Look at that. Look, that's what I did all like the last couple months. It's just like, oh, we don't know what we want to do. I'm in danger. That Simpsons thing. Kind of funny. Anyways, I digress again. There we go. Hopefully these videos are kind of entertaining too to watch. Because like the last thing I want to watch is like monotone, boring things on the internet. It's like, dude, this is dry. I don't want it to be dry. So I'm actually going to use this one. The problem with doing this sometimes, not using each zone as its own zone, you can like just look back indefinitely and keep finding things until the beginning of time. So that's why at some point you got to stop and just call it, like this is the demand zone. So That's just one of the tricks. You know, you just got to make that decision on your own and be like, what is too much? You know. So there we go. This is this candle definitely closed above here. It based above here. This is the breakout area. This is the breakout area on this one, and it definitely closed above there. So there we go. There's our Euro franc. We closed above. It doesn't look like we closed above yet. Otherwise, this is going to be our demand zone here. So I think this one's actually going to be the one I'm going to look for right here. Yeah, we'll call it that, because this broke out this cleanly. You have this, but not really any basing going on except this one candle. But this is kind of reaction to like what this would have been. I mean, that's just kind of a mess. So I'm going to use this. And we're going to use this. I'm kind of just eyeballing that, but it looks pretty close to the 50%. So there we go. We get this breakout, that basing candle. See this one? That didn't work, unfortunately. But yeah, so this is our curve. And these nice big curves sometimes are really nice because you can actually trade them. Sometimes the smaller curves you can't really trade because it'll come up into the high on the curve and you gotta like wait for the short and then it'll just go low on the curve like this one was doing, just bouncing. And I don't trade ranges mostly because I have my own mental blockers on there. I'm like, well, I don't really know what it's gonna do, so I'm not gonna trade it. That's just personal preference. If you're a good range trader, by all means, definitely trade that. Maybe make your own video and show me how to do it because I don't know. I have no clue. I made up my own like range trading rules because if something's out of trend and it's a range, it's something I watched in like the Kayla Christine videos and have adopted. So we've got this low, definitely close below there. And then see this area right here? Can't use that because that's inside, like it's not above, cleanly above the breakout area. So our next area will be this one. And you have this breakout too, which would be this. So we're actually, I'm going to use this because this traded below the body of basing candle. Like it traded into this base basically, and then this base broke this high right over here. So I'm going to use that. I think that's a pretty safe area to use. It's worked before. Why wouldn't it work again? We'll see. This shows an uptrend. I'm going to take it. That's what I'm going to do. Here's kind of like that nasty ascending base pattern too again. It's like, and this is the leg out. Leg in, base, 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 leg out. Because that closed above the high of the previous candle. So this would be a leg out basing candle. This would be the base. Right here. Boom, boom. Exciting stuff. Look at that. It's working. And it did. Oh, can we use it? Can we use it? What's the high of this one? High is 70.97. It's higher than 70.96. So we just look at the high of this, the breakout, and the highest of the highest high in the base. That's a lot of words. So it's 1 pip lower, so I can still use it. It fits in my rules. That's right, you gotta be super. Now, if I used to use the pipettes, but like it's just so much faster for me to type in my entries and stuff on my trade plan without that extra digit, and then lining them up is a little quicker too. So here we go. Pound CAD. What did I use on the pound Aussie? Oh, it finally has a new supply zone that's not way up here. Okay, I've just been watching it for a while. Obviously trading for a while and watching it. That's what traders do. They watch things like markets, and it's so exciting all the time. All right, there we go. So this broke out this, closed below. That's my area of supply on there. I didn't use this because there's no like real true basing candle. unlike the pound Aussie. But the pound Aussie doesn't have like this because the wick frickin' went through it, took it out, which is annoying. Here we go. Hopefully we can get some more money out of the pound CAD this week. We took a little bit out last week. Might have been the pound Aussie though. Maybe we didn't take I didn't take the pound CAD. I know I missed the pound entry by like 3 pips. That was a pound franc. I'm gonna measure this one. Measuring this candle right here to see what the story is on it. 184. 103, that's not a basic candle. So we must look elsewhere. And then for this one, it did close inside the range of the previous candle, so I'm going to put that all the way up on the top here. Look at that. Look how perfect that works. You can even take this leg out candle too and get in it. But I'm just going to take this base. That's crazy. Look at that. You taking this on a weekly or a daily chart? Boom. You made up to 658 points. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, we got this high right here. It is 2678, and then this high 2674. So this broke out of this little area. Some of these is like, oh, now you're just hunting. Now you're looking. Well, yeah, I'm hunting. It's a zone. Like if it's before a breakout, like I'm gonna, I need something to lock my curve to. I can't just not have a curve. I mean, you can. So I keep adding rules because if I do that, then I lose, and I'm not trying to lose money here. But if you don't like that, you definitely have this down here. This is a lot even better, to be honest. Better looking, because it's not just breaking some random arbitrary kind of zone over here. But I'm going to use this because it's closer. It's in there. The other pound pairs are trading it, so we'll see what it looks like on the 240. Maybe get some nice little trend out of there. But that's it. Well, as normal, leave questions in the comments. If you're not checking out the YouTube channel, feel free to do that. If you've made it this far, how far are we into this? 37 minutes. If you watched this video for 37 minutes, checked out how I do my curve every Saturday. Yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow.